It's time for the absolutely. I'm on my way! Completely. I'm almost there! Random. Why are there so many stairs? Podcast. Oh, jeez! With Andrew Rhodes.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to the absolutely, completely random podcast for Saturday, March 23rd, 2019. I'm your host, I'm Andrew Rhodes. I'll be here with you for hopefully not an hour, but maybe I can get it under an hour, because last week's went way overboard. What do I got to talk about this week? Well, believe it or not, that Sorceress Stabber Orphen series, guess what? It's back with new promos, and I gotta admit, it looks pretty damn sweet. The anime Pastel has been getting its sales halted, and other things are canceled. Yep. The streaming is temporarily stopped, and home releases are canceled. A realistic Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Disk has finally gone out on the market, and it's asking a hefty price tag. The next Evangelion movie is in the dialogue recording phase. Sega has suspended all sales of a certain magical virtual on game. Try saying that 5 times fast. I get to talk about the glitch that took over Sword Art Online Aliceization last week and the aftermath because of it. And finally, the one question that we have to ask ourselves: do you want to build a Blow Man? Well, if you're Pierre Takai, probably. Of course, after getting your ass busted for cocaine possession, I doubt it. But then again, this is an interesting one. It's a follow-up to the topic, I believe it was last week, actually, where I talked about it. There's a follow-up as more information was now released. But before we get into all that, because we all know how this works, check out my eBay page, ARHOADS-2012. Yeah, check out my eBay page for a wide variety of things. Some DVDs, some movies, some trading cards, parts to repair some of your Power Rangers figures that you love from the 90s, stuff like that. It's a wide variety of things. You can check it all out on my eBay page. That's ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. Hey, don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter at OtakuRhodes and check out the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page. Not to mention the channel trailer that I have on my actual channel. For those of you who are new to the channel, check out the trailer because it's kick-ass cool. Yeah, I know. I did it. Alright, so how did my week go? This is actually going to be a short one here. It was boring, dull as hell. We spent last Saturday and Sunday, watching 2 movies. We watched Going in Style again, because I got it on DVD this time from Walmart for $5. Also picked up Norbit last Saturday as well for $3.74. And today we watched Mr. Mom, a Michael Keaton movie from the 80s for, again, $3.74. So it's actually not bad. Walmart's got some good cheap movies you can find from time to time. I did manage to find something interesting, though, at the Dollar Tree today. When I was a kid, I had this bunch of VHS tapes that taught you math. And they were kind of cool. They had puppets that were sort of entertaining. And the one was a duck that just had this really, really adorable way that it was trying to learn. And I was laughing hysterically. Well, I found the edition one of that today at the Dollar Tree for $1, so that made my day. Sadly, YouTube only has the phonics episodes up, which really pisses me off because I really want to see this whole thing, but I want to pop that in and show that to my mom and my grandfather because that was hilarious as hell. On top of that, I also managed to get one of the monsters I've been searching for in Puzzles and Dragons, which really made my day because I was able to finally get this masterful monster. It was sort of like the piece for Exodia that you needed. I had all 5 pieces of Exodia, but now I needed the soul to bond it to, and man, did I actually like it. It's actually really cool that I got my hands on it, and all of a sudden, I'm looking in the dungeons, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, this one just came up, and I'm like, that can't be the one. I'm looking at the title, I'm like, because it was Heavenly Winged Machine Sephiroth was the one that I needed, and I'm like, there's no way that this is the dungeon. There is no way that this is the one. It's the one I need. So I went through, I beat it. By a miracle, mind you, I beat it. And I got it. First shot, I got it, and I was happy, I was ecstatic, and yes, it made my day. I'm not even going to lie. That was the best Wednesday of my life. And I had work Wednesday and Friday, dull week, basically all around. So, yep, that's how my week went. Wasn't really much to talk about, if anything. But the week of topics has not been dull, and I can't wait to dive headfirst into this, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Alrighty, so let's start off with Sorceress Stabber Orphen. I swear to God, I'm going to screw that up half a dozen times before this is done. So way back when I was still playing with the PlayStation 2 and I was kicking ass and taking names in the virtual world, you know, the fun times of my life, I came across this old PlayStation 2 game, which was really weird. I came across it at GameStop, and I'm like, this is kind of an interesting title, has an interesting little premise. I'm like, yeah, what the hell, let me buy this. It was only a couple bucks. I had some store credit racked up, so I thought, yeah, what the hell, let me buy this, see if it's any fun or not. And my God, was I not disappointed. Holy crap. This thing was not only well done, but even story-wise, it wasn't bad. Now, granted, I never actually finished it because, sadly, not too long after that, my PS2 decided it wanted to go fight the overlords in the great sky above. But I still got to play through one of the playthroughs for it. The game was an Orphen, Sorceress Orphen game, which made me wonder, because it said based on an anime series. Like, so years later, I would check out the opening to the anime series, which, whoa, blew my mind. I have not seen all of it, though, and it really bugs me, but it's back. That's the best part, because Orphen is back. So, around last year, the new Sorceress Stabber Orphen TV anime was announced. And it's on the way. No broadcast schedule has yet been revealed, but the official website went up with a 60-second promo introducing the debut footage along with a sample of the protagonist Orphen classic spellcasting. The new anime has the same voice actor reprising his role from the late 90s anime adaptation. The series of fantasy light novels, and there's actually a trailer in the links. You can check it out. It actually has the link. It's really cool. But yeah, I actually remember playing the game. It was a lot of fun because one of the attacks was like the Hand of Pyro. It's the one that I remember the most because it was the one that I couldn't figure out how to work. I'm not even joking. I remember playing it. It was like a game I would play every Sunday morning for a few hours. I would play it. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of fun, but it was a Sunday morning game. Then when I finally beat the first part, I'm like, well, that's it. Time to go. It's done. And it's like, well, there's 2 more sections you can do. And I'm like, no, I'm done. And when I wanted to go back to it was when my PlayStation died then anyway, so it was fine. But still, it wasn't a bad game, so I assume the anime was good. I haven't seen all of it, though, yet, so there is that. But still, for something from the late 90s coming back, it's actually a good thing. I'm not going to deny that. And graphics look really good, too, for it, from the standalone picture of Orphen standing in the street to the trailer that was released. It looks extremely good. I'm actually quite impressed by it. Again, taking the fact that it was originally out in the 90s says a lot, so that's huge. So if you're a fan of Sorceress Stabber Orphen, or you're just a fan of Orphen period, good news, this should be making you extremely happy, because honestly, it thrilled me, and I've only seen like 2 episodes of it. Seriously, it was not a bad thing for the 2 episodes that I saw, so yeah. That makes my day that it's coming back, so more power to it. It's about all I got to say on that one. Wow, that was a short topic. Alright, so it's not really uncommon for anime publishers and distributors to stop streaming and cancel home releases. That shit happens more times than the sun rises and falls. However, streaming for the anime Pastel Memories has temporarily been halted, and DVDs and Blu-ray releases of the show's first 3 episodes have been trashed. The reason, it seems, though, is apparently because the show is parodying another anime, which, first off, if it's parodying it, what the hell? If you want to talk about an anime parodying another anime, I can show you 6 examples off the top of my head that are just as bad. You have Pop Team Epic, bothers me just saying that. let's see. We had those two. The infamous. What was that one? There was like one that ripped off both Digimon and Pokemon. You had Mr. Osamatsu did one once where he really he parodied like 3 or 4 different anime series. You had there was one that was parodying giant robots. I hated that one with a passion. I wouldn't even watch it. So there's plenty of them. I know I can name the 6 of them off the top of my head. It's just that I don't remember the names fully, which pisses me off. So when you say, yeah, because when I say it like, oh, I can name 6 of them off the top of my head, and I give you 2, it's like, okay, well, where are the other 4? Shit! Because the first 2 that instantly come to my mind are Pop Team Epic and Bobobo. And I'm like, crap! But there's a ton of them that parody other anime. So that's the reason why this has been canceled. First off, that's the stupidest reason I have ever heard in my life for anything being canceled. So as announced on the show's official website via Anime News Network, the official statement apologizes for the trouble caused by this. So, not a problem, just out money for the DVDs, and my streaming service is probably kissing the ground you walk upon because people paid money for this and they can't watch it. A corrected version of the first episode is apparently going to resume streaming on March 26th. At that time, the second episode will cease streaming, and when it will return is still to be announced. So I'm confused. So they're stopping all 3 episodes. All of the DVDs and Blu-rays have been canceled. But yet, when episode 1 is remade and brought back, episode 2 is going to go away. Okay. So, apparently the show's planned Blu-ray and DVD releases of the first 3 episodes have also been canned. The Blu-ray box set will be out later this summer. According to Anime News Network, this is interesting, because I got this off of Kotaku, by the way. According to Anime News Network, the reason for all this might be because the show parodied the slice of life anime is the Order a Rabbit. Seriously, who the hell comes up with these I could do a rant video on that. Who the hell comes up with these anime names? ANN points out that the Japanese copyright law doesn't have parody exemptions like the US, which is why in 2015, the anime Mr. Osamatsu. I was right! Okay, so I had 3, so I had half of it. Ha! Why the anime Mr. Osamatsu, which had numerous parody scenes, was also pulled. Yes, I was right. Pastel Memories has been streaming on Crunchyroll, while Sentai Filmworks has the rights to the home release. So, okay, you yanked off episodes of Mr. Osamatsu, but yet, God forbid, you let Pop Team Epic get away with that bullshit. You let Bobobo get away with that bullshit. But, well, it's fine for them. I guess they got grandfather status, or they just see, we don't care. But that's just wrong. So this has been canceled because it apparently is parodying another anime series, which has a stupider name than anything I've ever heard. Pastel Memories is much more easier to remember than is the Order a Rabbit. That sounds like something that I would be talking about to a magician or to a fast food clerk. Is the Order a Rabbit? That makes no sense. So apparently you're going to be removing episode 2 once episode 1 resumes streaming. However, all the streams are halted, so what the hell difference does it make if episode 2 is going to go away or not? They should all be gone. So this is a confusing yet interesting topic, but honestly, I don't understand the concept of, well, we're getting rid of this because we don't want to have it anymore, and it makes no damn sense anymore. So, yeah, I don't even think you know what you're doing anymore, to be honest with you. So, yep. So if you're trying to figure out why Pastel Memories has disappeared from your streaming service, that's why. So it kind of sucks to be you, but then again, for all of us, it sucks in general, because anime is a beautiful thing. But then again, if you're complaining about parodies, Bobobo, Pop Team Epic, Mr. Otsumatsu, so many others have already parodied where their yank downs. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, so everybody please take my hand metaphorically, mind you, for a moment, and let's all travel back in time. Not too far, not too far. We're just going to be going back to the early 2000s. Remember Yu-Gi-Oh? And I mean the good Yu-Gi-Oh, not Zexal, GX, 5Ds, or V-Range. No, we're talking the good Yu-Gi-Oh. Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. You remember the Battle City arc that basically paved the way for the rest of that series and the rest of the seasons and series to come? Well, good. Remember the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Disk from the Battle City tournament? Well, believe it or not, you can actually own a 1-to-1 scale replica by Proplica, at least created by them, that went on sale in Japan on the 20th. This thing is epic, for starters. There's a video in the link, by the way, if you want to check it out. It is cool. It has like the voice, I'm assuming it's the Japanese voice of Kaiba explaining this because it was a Kaiba thing. But this is really cool. Judging from the picture that's on here, you definitely have the Yu-Gi-Oh feel to it. Doesn't have like a wrist brace that the Mattel version had of that one. It's got an actual grip part where you can hold onto it with your hand. So that's sort of an interesting change up. But still, it looks kind of cool. Now, this also has plenty of features. It's got a field spell section. It can change the life points, count them down, change them, do like the sound effects. It has a light up display, like basically lights up, so there's lights and effects. It even has a spot dedicated solely for your extra deck. So that, first off, is cool because the original Mattel version did not have that. In fact, none of the Mattel ones had that, come to think of it. Not a single one. You had to hold on to them in your pocket. So what does this thing have? Well, it's got a realistic dual disc, has light up effects. It can play 4 Yu-Gi-Oh songs and has 40 different catchphrases. Now, I'm sure you're asking the same question that everybody else was asking. How much, right? I mean, we're not talking, El Cheapo here. This is like top quality shit. So how much was this wonderful thing going for online? Well, or at least over when it went on sale on the 20th? Well, if you would have said 30,000 yen, I would say you're nuts, go lower. If you said 10,000 yen, I'd go, you're really crazy, go higher. If you said 21,600 yen, congratulations! You've either read the article or you just have a really good luck streak when it comes to guessing prices. Yep, for about $195 or $200, basically, if you round it up with shipping and everything else American, you can own a 1-to-1 scale replica of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle City Duel Disk. These dual discs that pretty much paved the way for the rest of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise after it. Because I do not remember one Yu-Gi-Oh! Series after the Duel Monsters version that did not have a dual disc. That literally paved the way, and Mattel knew it when they created theirs years ago, so yeah. Now, before you start salivating at the thought of this and start smashing open poor Porky the piggy bank there to count your pennies and your dimes, it's only on sale, and it's only for sale in Japan. So, while you could probably buy it, it's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money to have it shipped over here. Now, I can understand why it's probably only on sale in Japan, because, let's face it. First off, Japan gets the better stuff, for starters. But second off, V-Range is doing much better over there than it's doing over here in the U.S. People don't... I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Ran its course a while back here in the U.S. anime-wise, and it's just hanging on by a thread, but V-Range was losing it for me. But still, unless this thing's shooting out holograms, I got some major questions. So much of this looks cool, but a lot of other stuff that they've come out with, Yu-Gi-Oh! Related, looks cool. There's a Yu-Gi-Oh! AR. Sorry about that. There's Yu-Gi-Oh! AR, there's Yu-Gi-Oh! There's like an evolution of what the board will look like in a few years for professional play. So much advancements in the way of Yu-Gi-Oh! But if this is going to be with their crowning achievement, I have a few questions that I want answered before I shell out $200. Because for $200, I could buy all three of the Mattel versions, the Battle City one, the GX Academy, and the Darts version, and still have some money left over to buy some cards. So my question is, what does this do besides have pretty lights, sound effects, and play 4 songs? Will it actually project the monsters for me? If the answer is no, then you basically made something that's shiny, plays songs, and doesn't have to. Don't get me wrong, I like the idea of it, but, I mean, catchphrases are fine and all, but I don't want to hear them yelling out in Japanese, mind you, Boku no draw, or yelling out attacks in Japanese, when in all honesty, I don't see how they couldn't do this for both sides of the spectrum, do an English release, and have the voices do that. I know the voices are all still around because they usually do some of the tournaments, like the high-end tournaments and that, some of the low-end tournaments too, where they actually reprise their characters for a fan match, where they literally battle, themselves, like, okay, we're going to have Yugi taking on Kaiba, we're going to have Yugi taking on this, or Kaiba's going to take on Pegasus, or Joey's taking on Pegasus, or Merrick's taking on Pegasus. So many things, and we know that they're still around, we know the voice actors are still doing work, so we could have easily gotten that happening here. So how come Japan gets this only, and we in the West, once again, don't? We in the West don't. It's sad. It hurts. But then again, it's fine. It's fine. As cool as it is, keep in mind, it can probably be ordered online, so you do have that opportunity. But $200 is a lot of money. I mean, if I buy that thing's literally going to be the central display in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Collection, and that collection's never going to get open. It's going to be pressurized, sealed, and locked in a glass vault. And I mean glass, like 3 inches of bulletproof glass, thick glass. Yeah. And just to make it, no, screw it. For $200, it's going to be 3 inches of bulletproof glass around the Duel Disk, 4 inches of bulletproof glass around the room that the Duel Disk is in, and then another room outside of that that's going to be 6 inches of bulletproof glass. So you're going to be looking at a grand total of 13 inches to go through, at best, to try to crack in and get that $200 Duel Disk. Because that's what I would do for having to spend $200 on a Duel Disk. But then again, there are people that spend that kind of money for some free swag from video games that suck, looking at you, Fallout 76. Let's all remember the bag and the helmet and the Pip-Boy from the couple games prior. Yeah, we all remember those. So it's not unreasonable that somebody would pay the $200 for this, but it kind of feels like it's highway robbery at that point. I mean, it's horrendously expensive. But then again, stranger things have happened. So if you're interested in it, you can probably find it online. It's pretty damn expensive, but then again, it's only in Japan right now. So, yeah, that hurts a lot. Alright, so it seems like an eternity and a half ago, Neon Genesis Evangelion started coming out with these movies. There was Evangelion 1.0, You Cannot Redo, Evangelion 2.22, no, I think that one was You Can't Redo, or the first one was You Are Not Alone, second one was You Can't Redo. Well, good news. For those of you who have been waiting for the next Evangelion film, it's now in the dialogue recording stage. So what does that mean? Basically, it's almost done. At least you would hope so. It's been a long road. But it looks like we may soon be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. No, that's the semi-bus that was supposed to be Dallas 5 hours ago. It's somehow wound up in New York. I don't know how the hell that happened. That that tunnel's the Twilight Zone tunnel. We've been trying to get that removed from the state for a while, but we can't. All right. Basically, though, the fourth Shin Evangelion anime film, Shin Evangelion Gekkiban production house, Studio Kahara, revealed that the movie is now in the dialogue recording process, and the official Twitter account shared a photo of the film's script to mark the occasion. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, so it's a good thing, too, because Evangelion just so happens to be Otaku USA's cover story for the month or for the time. So apparently it's going to be due out sometime next year. I hope so, because I think fans are getting tired of waiting. I mean, anime fans are patient, but there's a difference between patient and flat out, you're taking an eternity and a half. And I think we're at that point where you're taking an eternity and a half is starting to take over the control run here. So yeah, if you're looking forward to that, good news. You don't have much longer to wait, happily. But for those of you who were hoping that it's going to be one of these, well, it'll be out this year, no luck. Sorry. But that doesn't mean that it's not a bad thing. It's just... I know people wanted to come out. I don't blame you. I feel for you. I really do. But still, I know. It hurts. It hurts. I know. So many things can go wrong in the world, but you can't even come out with a movie in a decent time frame. I mean, the second one came out. I remember the second one came out. And I watched it on YouTube. Because somebody, I guess, bought the DVD and popped it up on YouTube. And I watched it on YouTube. And then Toonami aired it, like, about half a year later. Literally about half a year after I watched it, Toonami aired it. And I'm like, well, this is even better watching it the second time. Because I didn't see the actual ending because the YouTube video cut out. So I'm like, this is actually cool. I can see the actual ending of this now. And I'm like, huh. Neat. I can't wait for the next one. Oh, I kind of feel like the reboot fans when season 4 ended. Yeah, that was a lot of pain there. It's never going away. But hopefully next year the movie will come out, provided it doesn't run into any snags like the money dries up, or the voice actors quit, or the footage gets lost, or the recordings are garbled, or whatever they want to limp to the barn with. Hopefully it'll all be done next year, and fans can finally see the Evangelion film they've been waiting for. Doubt it highly, but you never know. Alright, I got not one, but two Sega topics this week. That's right. Sega has suspended the sales of a certain magical Virtual On game. Now, first off, I've actually played a Virtual On game before. I played Virtual on Mars. I had to think of what the name was there. Back when I still had my PlayStation 2. I can actually tell you the year I played it because I went up to GameStop. I searched for it in their El Cheapo loose disc bin. I found it. I played it. I did not beat it. God, it was a fun game, though. So a certain... I love this. A certain magical Virtual On is a crossover between a certain magical Index franchise and Sega's Cyber Troopers Virtual On series of twin-stick mech brawlers. God, were they a lot of fun, too, to play. That game was a blast. Though some of the cutscenes sucked, but then again, it was polygons for most of it, and my God, it was good. Especially in the PlayStation 2 era. The game launched on the PS4 and PS Vita in Japan on February 15th of last year, but Sega recently announced plans to halt both physical and digital sales of the title on a temporary basis. So, why, you ask? Well, unfortunately, we don't know. There's no concrete reason behind the announcement. Sega simply cited various circumstances for the suspension. Other versions of Virtual On have not been impacted by this issue, so it could just be a licensing dispute that, hey, you can't have the certain magical index anymore, so you need to take that off, but it's part of our game. Well, you got to yank that game down until they can get the license agreement to come back. Or they ran into a snag and somebody's suing them over something, or there's an issue, or there's like thousands of reasons as to why, but if it's nothing to basically, halt something massive, if it's still playable, like it's not a physical issue that, oh, the game corrupts files, or the game, downloads malware onto your computer if you do it digitally or something. Or, hey, your PS4 and PS Vita will be hard locked. You won't be able to open them up and they'll be bricked. That would be a massive, hey, we got to cancel this game and stop the thing so we can fix this. But if it's basically, we lost the license, just come out and tell everybody you lost the license. Just come out and say, hey, the license expired. We're in the process of renewing it. Until we renew it, you can't play the game. Okay. Fans will understand that. But you make it seem like the fans aren't going to understand, the simplicity of this. Because it's like, well, we're just done. The game's done. Till further notice, can't be played. Physical sales are stopped. Digital sales are stopped. Have a nice day. It's like, we would like some answers. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I would rather have some answers. I mean, just give us something. Basically, tell us the reason why, and I don't think fans would be as, irate and upset as they kind of are when you don't tell them. Now, there are some fans that are usually nice and calm about it, and a lot of gamers will probably go, meh, alright. Because that's the era we're in now, is because a lot of the stuff's digital. So you do run the risk of, well, we can't have the digital rights for this one because, it has characters that are owned by this company and they refuse to give us the license for it, so we can't put this up on digital or sell it. But with digital games, it could be even worse of, well, as much fun as it would be to have this game up, we can't because we don't have the rights for some of this stuff, so there's no point in us doing this game because it's digital only, nobody can play it. Eventually, that's the way things are going to happen, that there'll be like no games and there'll be a whole bunch of games and there'll be no games again and so on and so forth. But still, it's just the fact that you could easily have just said to everybody, hey, we lost the license rights to a certain magical index. That's why the game's off the market until we can agree and negotiate to get the license rights back. If we can't, then the game will be permanently gone forever. But maybe, just maybe, if the moon's in the right alignment with Venus, and if Mercury is in Neptune, and if Uranus is in Neptune's Pluto, we might be able to save the game that you all love, because a certain magical virtual on game will someday return. You can bet on it. Something like that would have gotten fans more pumped and more happy than removing the game, and we'll tell you why when we feel like it. I'd rather like to know now. But I guess it's like, how many licks does it take to get this Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. So, alright, that's fine. Still, though, if you want to play it, your SOL, at least until it comes back. But there's plenty of other virtual on games to play. Play one of those, they're just as much fun. I wish some of them were available for tablets, but I don't know many that are. And the one game that I have right now that's robot-related, the controls really suck on it. It's a SP Alpha Gunner, and the controls suck on it. I'm not even gonna lie. But yep, so hopefully the game comes back. If it doesn't, honestly, it's a robot game, so there's probably 1,000 more that you could probably play on the PS4 and the PS Vita that are probably just as much, if not more, fun. So yeah, there's that. Alrighty, it's time for my second Sega topic. Man, I love that echo. Alright, that one was weird. Anyway, remember, I think it was last week or the week before when I talked about the cocaine arrest of Pierre Takai, the voice actor for the Japanese Judgement game. The game was then halted, all sales, both digital and pre-order and physical copies. Everything was just halted, ground to a halt because of his cocaine bust. Well, good news for Western fans, and even better news for those of you that bought the Japanese version. Because the Japanese version of the PlayStation 4 game is going to be changed before it gets released here in the US and in the West, basically. Japanese actor Pierre Takai is going to be removed from the game. Okay? Completely removed. Or at least adjusted. So this is how it basically works out. So he was arrested for cocaine use. Remember, he wanted to build a blow man, not a snowman. I guess somebody transposed two of the letters, and he probably heard the word snow, and they said blow. I mean, no disrespect, but come on, it was an easy joke. Forgive me. Anyway, Judgement, which is a spin-off of the popular Yakuza series, is going to see the character model and Japanese voice actor for the character of Koihei Homura adjusted, basically. So they're removing Takai's likeness and his voice from this game entirely. And they're just changing up his character's persona, pixelization, image, and everything else to this newer person who I'm trying to figure out if they put down here. Anyway, Sega is committed yet to the June 25th release, saying that the date on these shores, despite having to change the game last minute. So this is the official statement from Sega and its Ryuga Gotoku studio. So this is the official statement that they said here, and I quote, "Due to unforeseen circumstances, the character model and Japanese voice actor for Kyohei Homura will be adjusted for the Western release of Judgement, launching on June 25th, 2019. Screenshots and trailers featuring Homura have been temporarily removed from all of Sega's official channels. Updated versions of the materials will be made available at a later date," end quote. So, what does this have to do for fans of the game? Well, for those of you in the West that were looking forward to playing this, you're still going to get to play it. There's just going to be a different character model and a different voice actor for that character. However, for those of you in the East that apparently had a copy or found a copy or something, because I'm getting mixed reports of when this was actually released in Japan here, even better news, it's worth a shit ton of money now, apparently, because they're going to have two different versions of this, the original and the edited version. So that's going to make a massive influx here of a difference in price. People are going to want the original version, which is going to command a higher price because it's probably going to... all the copies that were in stores, if there were any, were probably brought back and destroyed. So, first off, anybody that actually had one, if this got released early and is actually available in Japan, which who the hell knows if it is or not, I'm getting mixed reports on that, they have a rarity depending on how many of them were actually put out, if any at all. So that's a massive influx of good fortune for those people who were lucky enough to get one, because good news, it's worth a shit ton of money now because, hey, guess what? It's available. You know, it's going to be the original version, and the newer one's the edited version. So you have that. So in Japan, companies have been scrambling, though, to pull products featuring Pierre Takai following the allegations made against the 51-year-old. Sega pulled shipments and sales of Judgement. Square Enix said it's patching Takai's lines in Kingdom Hearts 3, where he plays, appropriately enough, the snowman from Frozen. Disney's even pulling sales of the Frozen Blu-rays. Blu-ray reports Japan today, so great. I guess I gotta get my hands on a Frozen DVD now on eBay. Who the hell am I kidding? I don't want to see that movie. I was gonna say, oh no, this is a different person anyway, so I'd have to get the Japanese version. Ooh, nah, no, not even worth it. Oh no, wait a minute, they would have dual dialogue, so yeah. Huh. All right, so anybody that's got a copy of Frozen before Disney yanks them all off and destroys the original so that they can get rid of his voice in it, good news! There's another money pit for you. Yay! As for Judgment, expect a new character model and a new Japanese voice actor for Kyohei Hamura when the game comes out in the UK. And for everywhere else, apparently. But still, like I said, I think somebody said snowman, or I think somebody said, do you want to build a snowman? And he thought they said blow man. So, yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, it was an easy joke. But basically, this, I would say it's overkill, but let's face it this way. For Kingdom Hearts 3, that was like a blessing in disguise. Because, hey, look, even though it's a small role that character plays, but it's a world you can go back to half a dozen times, good news! That's going to make people want to buy your game now. Bad news! They probably have to do a patch which can be done online, which is going to delete it and remove it instantly. Good news if you're a fan of Frozen, including, I'm assuming, Olaf's Frozen Adventure, which is probably now never going to come out, so meh, it's not good. You have a bit of a rarity there, provided it's not a digital copy. If it's an actual physical, hey, I bought the Blu-ray or DVD of it, really good news, because then, hey, if it has Japanese dialogue, I can get his voice, which means that it's now a rarity. Same with anybody that got a copy of Judgement. It's a rarity now because the original is going to be worth a little more money than the redo. So there is that. So there is a silver lining in this, but the sad part is it's a silver lining of scumminess. I mean, we're not talking a bright color rainbow here. We're talking a slime shit covered rainbow. That's what this is. Basically you have it's going to be fun. So you have at least 2 games screwed over by this arrest, 1 movie franchise screwed over by this arrest, a sequel to said movie franchise coming out later this year, which is probably now going to have to be heavily edited and probably get a pushback on the release date, which will piss off fans, stockholders, and everybody else. You're also going to have the massive influx of people that are going to claim he's innocent, but let's face it, they found the drugs on him, so I don't really know what else you could say about it. Then you're also going to have the people that are going to want to buy as many copies of the game as they can before, 100% of them are sent back and destroyed. And, I mean, these are the ones that they'll make a slimy deal with the game stores. Like, look, I know you have to halt it, but can't you edit your records and say that you only had 5 copies left? And I take the other 5, and I take the other ones with me, and then I turn and burn them on eBay, and we split the profits 50-50, but I'll lose my job. But this game's going to be worth hundreds now, instead of just a mere, what is it, like $60? It's going to be worth hundreds. You're liable to have like a dishonest sales clerk that'll go, yeah, what the hell, let's do it, and all that other stuff. So while it's entertaining, yes, and while this does shine a light as to, look, we're not putting up with this shit, at the same time, like I said, it's not a bright rainbow that the other side is good on. It's a slime rainbow, because it's all scummy. But still, it's nice to see that they're not just going to outright cancel the game either. Because that's what I think a lot of people were afraid of. Oh, we're just going to cancel the game, screw the game, it's done. Meh, we're done with the game. The game is over. We're done with the game. The game's canceled. Have a nice day, everybody. Go home. No, they're at least going to be nice about it and try to basically, put the game out and at least have it so that people can at least enjoy it. Probably because they have so much money wrapped up into this thing. I doubt they're going to want to take a bath on it that badly. But, yep. Anyway, that game's going to be worth a lot more money now if it's the original version, which is going to make selling it for anybody a hell of a lot of difficulty. I could just imagine this thing had like a digital download version. It's like, yeah, we just got to put out a patch. It's going to change his look, but don't worry about it. It's, it's an emergency patch just to make sure you don't play the other game. That would be bad. All right, so this is an interesting topic. So by the time this podcast goes out, it's not going to be that relevant anymore, but still it's an interesting thing. So for those of you out there that were wondering what the hell happened during the March 16th premiere of Sword Art Online Alicization Episode 6, here's your answer. It glitched the hell out. So apparently Master Control at Cartoon Network's got some gremlins in it, and they just wanted to screw with Cartoon Network, but they screwed with Toonami, which doesn't need screwing with. That's a perfect fine thing. You want to screw with something, gremlins, go after Teen Titans. Go. I don't think anybody will have a problem with that. During the broadcast of Episode 6 of Sword Art Online Alicization, the Toonami edition, the feed of Cartoon Network from both the East and West Coast airings, saw a significant glitch around the 6-minute mark into the show as the episode froze. Just plain froze. For a few seconds before going into a commercial break, before skipping ahead to the airing of the first half of last week's scheduled episode of Megalobox. Several minutes earlier than it was scheduled, and by several minutes, I think they mean almost a good 10 to 15. That's not good. The rest of the block would air as scheduled, although Megalobox repeated its first half during its regular scheduled time, which was directly after Alicization. Several videos have actually come up showing this happening, and it's actually quite interesting. There's an Adult Swim glitch one that's put up on YouTube. You can see in the link. There's one that's up on Twitter. There's like a reaction video. In addition, though, some viewers claim that they saw a 404 error when attempting to view the live simulcast on the Adult Swim website during this event during the night. It's unknown, though, if both incidents were connected. So, yeah. Adult Swim, though, at the time this happened, had no idea what the hell was going on. So basically, yeah, what the hell? Jason DeMarco then issued a statement that claimed, and I really love this is fun. It says, and I quote, it's really cool, that they're looking into the issue. In the meantime, though, the episode is presently available to view in full on Adult Swim's website. Cable login is required. So the tweet that went out from Nexus 7 DeMarco said, hashtag Toonami fans. Obviously, I don't work for CN Master Control, so I don't know what happened with SAO last night, but we are looking into it. I'm not sure if we will re-air the episode or not, but I will let you know when we know more. Sorry for the inconvenience. Which is all fine and dandy, but here's the kicker. Okay? Not even a day later. And I mean that because the first one here, because this is off of the Toonami Faithful site, by the way, so can't get any better than this. So the Toonami Faithful site put the thing out on March 17th. Literally a day later, Toonami announced that they are going to be replaying Episode 6 this Saturday, which is today, as I'm recording this, and the glitch that caused this hopefully is fixed, and Episodes 7 and 8, so that they don't fall too far behind, since right now they're only a week behind, will be a double header for next Saturday, the 30th. So that's an interesting thing. So this one goes as simple. Technical glitches during the broadcast forced a sudden preemption of the show, as the computers at Cartoon Network's Master Control would accidentally begin that week's scheduled Megalobox. I guess the Master Control just wanted to see, Junkyard Joe just beat the crap out of somebody. To make up, though, for the mistake, Toonami announced on their Facebook page that they were going to replay Episode 6 on the 23rd at 12:30 a.m. Eastern and Pacific Time, to be followed by the finale of Megalobox at 1 a.m. The following week, because they were going to have a 30-minute discrepancy, since Megalobox is done for, their part, because it's the finale, Toonami's going to be doing a double header of Episodes 7 and 8 on March 30th from 12:30 to 1:30. I would actually just love to see the opening for this week's Toonami to see if Tom acknowledges this. So I'm going to have to check out my sources on YouTube to see if that pops up or not, because that I would be interested in seeing. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But this is cool. So again, Nexus 7 DeMarco put out a tweet saying, hashtag Toonami fans, Sorry about the Sword Art Online glitch this past Saturday night. We'll be replaying and hopefully finishing Episode 6 this coming Saturday at 12:30. We'll then be running Episodes 7 and 8 back-to-back on Saturday, March 30th from 12:30 to 1:30. Sorry again. So for those that can't wait until Saturday, first off, you can watch Episode 6 subbed if it's really that important to you. You have to see it off the bat. Otherwise, it was up on Adult Swim's website, but you just have to wait till it airs tonight. So there you go. So if you're a fan of this, I mean, first off, this is massive because it's not every day that something this massive happens. Last time that I can remember that a show got screwed like this was an episode of The Simpsons. And that was way, way back in the 90s. Like the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a Sunday night episode of The Simpsons that literally froze. It was the one when Lisa takes the bus. Bart puts a whole bunch of crap on his face with some type of glue. Marge freaks the hell out, so Lisa, wanting to go to the museum, decides she's going to take the bus, only she ends up getting lost, can't find her way home. Homer ends up finding her, and they end up going to the museum anyway. And it's interesting because she just wanted to see this Fabergé egg, which turns out to be like a ballerina type deal, which really made it interesting because only her and Homer knew about it then. But the scene that I'm thinking of in this episode froze is when Marge got into the car with Bart. She kind of leans past Bart a little bit, looking at Lisa, going, "No, you're not going to take the bus." And Bart's just kind of looking at her like, what? And that's where the scene froze for like a good 90% of the episode was that scene, because it froze the night it premiered. So having something like this happen, because they didn't replay it then the next week because they finished out the episode, but having something like this happen was massive, especially for Toonami. I mean, this is a first, too, mind you. But I'm just going to put this out there. If Cartoon Network's hiring somebody from Master Control to keep an eye on the Toonami streams and that when they air, I am more than willing to throw my hat in the ring. Seriously, I would love that job. But at least they have the right idea. They're just going to like, you know what? We're just going to replay the episode the following week. That's not a problem. And then to make up for the problem, we'll just do a doubleheader the following week because that would have been when episode 8 would have aired anyway. So they're still technically a week behind, but they're not a full, more than a week behind, I should say. So they're technically like a week behind, but with the fact that they're probably going to have some event or something happen like a couple months from now, it'll probably balance everything out. So be like, look, we have this thing coming up. It's going to be like from midnight to 1 in the morning. So these two shows this week are going to be preempted. And that's where they'll catch up. Because don't forget, Aliceization's a 52 episode series. And right now I think they just finished the first half in Japan. So this has still got a bit of ways to go yet. And I stopped watching it because it got way too dark, way too fast. Not to mention the fact that I got lost on that damn plot. The characters know they're in a game, but they don't know they're in a game. But yet they know they're in a game, but yet I don't understand any of it anymore. Can't wait to review that for the GBU. That's going to be a fun-filled one. But anyway, it's one of those weird things that when it happens, it's a bad thing when it happens, but then you're just kind of interested in seeing how this turns out. And I'm actually glad the fans are going to be able to watch this then in the end. So, all's well that went well, so that's actually not a bad thing. But still, glitches happen. Nothing in the world's perfect. And honestly, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, it really could have. I mean, this thing could have just like crashed all of Toonami, could have went down for the week, what have you. It just could have happened that badly. So it's not a bad thing per se that it happened, but still, I'm glad that they've rectified it. So yeah, kudos. Toonami at least knows what they're doing. I can't say the same for Cartoon Network or Adult Swim, but Toonami at least knows what it's doing. It at least has its head in the game. Now, if only it could convince its teammates to do the same. Yep, if only. Alrighty, everybody, that's pretty much going to do it this week for the Absolutely Completely Random podcast. I'm getting tired. I'm getting sleepy. My eyes are barely staying open anymore. Yep, so that's going to pretty much do it for me this week. Don't forget, if you have any topics you'd like to have me talk about, feel free to send them to one of the many places. Either to the discussion section here on my YouTube channel, drop them on my Twitter page, @OtakuRoads, or I should say Otaku Roads, or Otaku. I don't really know how to pronounce it correctly. Apparently, I'm mispronouncing Otaku and Otaku so many times. I don't really... Who cares? Just, you can put it there. Otaku or Otaku, potato, potato, tomato, tomato, who cares? It's same thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can put it there at Otaku Roads, or on my Facebook page for the podcast, which is Web Designer 18 Facebook page. You can check those out. There are links in the About Me section here on my channel. Feel free to check those out. Thank you, by the way, for everybody that submitted your questions for this month's Q&A video. I will be recording that. So, yes, it's been a wonderful time. Yes, I'm glad I can do this. We're up to number 7 on those, so that's really impressive. I don't know what I'm going to do when I hit number 12. It might be a special one. Who knows? But anyway, thank you all so much for being here this week. I'm sorry if this one felt phoned in. The topics were plenty, but not very informative. So there wasn't really much I could do about that. Anyway, my name's Andrew Rhodes, and I am checking out for the week. So I will see you all next time. Bye. Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Web Designer 18 YouTube channel, because I'm Andrew, and I'm the one that made the video you just watched. Come on, hit the subscribe button.